In the early 20th century, there were many brutal totalitarian states, the worst being Nazi Germany. After the conclusion of the First World War, many European countries were left desolate, with the worst off being Germany. In the years following the war, many rules were given to Germany which further impoverished the nation. This led to very radical movements to gain momentum in the country. In 1933, the National Socialist German Workers' Party won the election, making Adolf Hitler Chancellor of Germany. Soon Hitler imposed many radical laws which made him sole ruler of Germany. There are many parallels between this fearsome totalitarian state and the society in George Orwell's 1984. These states both maintained similar ideologies, they controlled mass media, educated children in their beliefs, had a secret police force, and had forced labor camps. These two governments used these methods to maintain power and control over their people, which is the goal of totalitarian states. The Nazis and Big Brother had very similar ideologies. The Nazis believed in an all-powerful leader, strength in military, a strong state, purity of race, the giving of oneself for the good of the state, and intense nationalism. There was great focus on giving the unemployed jobs and strengthening the economy. An emphasis was given on rearming Germany, so as to make them a military power once again. There was also lots of propaganda used to fuel the intense nationalism they wanted. The political system in 1984, called Ingsoc, or English Socialism, used these similar ideals. They wanted full and utter control over everyone, mind and body. It called for intense nationalism, love for Big Brother, giving of one to the state, and strength in military. O'Brien, an inner party member in the novel, summed up the motives of the party saying, "The German Nazis and Russian communists came very close to us in their methods, but they never had the courage to recognize their own motives. They pretended, perhaps even believed, that they had seized power unwillingly and for a limited time, and just around the corner there lay a paradise where human beings would be free and equal. We are not like that. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Power is not a means, it is an end." The Nazis had a very strong totalitarian society, but 1984 is the greatest extreme it can become. Orwell constructed his novel off of the basis of the Nazis and the Soviets, who made it the absolute extreme. Another similarity between the two societies is the use of mass propaganda. In Germany, the party controlled all news, books, magazines, radio, public meetings, rallies, music, and movies. On May 10th, 1933, the Germans made a list of books they deemed against their ideology and just burned them all. New textbooks were then made that supported their beliefs. This is exactly what the party did in 1984. Every year, books were reprinted so that they never contradicted the party. There was also textbooks made which showed the history in the party's view. In 1984, the Ministry of Truth controls all aspects of media. In Nazi Germany, it was a Minister of Enlightenment. The Nazis also started a program which gave people cheap radios, so they could always listen to Hitler's speeches. The streets were filled with speakers which blared propaganda, and all shops and cafes had to play Hitler's speeches. Similarly, in 1984, all party members had telescreens. These telescreens were televisions that would never turn off and were always spewing party propaganda. In both societies, feeding party propaganda was necessary to keep the populace in line. In both